Hi Aquarius, how's everybody doing? Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. I feel like lately a lot when I've been doing the pre-shuffle for Aquarius, it seems like you're all caught up in your head with something. It's like maybe you feel like lately you've been overthinking a lot. Maybe this is also a sense of awareness too that you're gaining about like where you're kind of stopping yourself from exploring things or where you want to be expanding. So maybe this is also a good thing too, because you're recognizing like where you may be holding yourself back. Okay, very good. Love, heartbreak. Hearing something about love and war. What's going on here? What happened? What happened? Is this a retrograde thing? Did you connect with somebody and things didn't go well? It's like somebody was being dishonest with you, you're in a connection with them. I'm looking at love. It's like feeling hurt by something, a relationship where someone was being dishonest with you. Maybe you also feel like you may have sabotaged like your maybe you feel like you sabotaged something by like entertaining the relationship with this person, or like you didn't show up for yourself, maybe something like that. You could have thought things also were one way and then something was revealed to you that allowed you to realize that things were differently than you had initially anticipated or even suspected. I'm hearing drawing the line. It's interesting. It seems like you're looking within and trying to understand something that may feel somewhat foggy or confusing to you. It's about you and this connection you have with this person. This feels so much like the twin flame journey, or like whatever you call it personally for yourself. The description of it is like you connect with someone in a very particular way. It feels very deep. You feel like so much love for this person, and something ends up happening where you get hurt in a way that you hadn't even expected to, but things kind of just go in that direction. And there were like multiple times that it happened throughout the relationship, but you still felt you could find your happiness here. And there was a sense of you like learning how to better understand and hold your emotions and your emotional process that you were having. And now there's a sense of like maybe feeling more grounded than you had initially. And now we're like looking again at the dynamic between you and this person and really analyzing it and being like, I feel all of these different things. I feel love, I feel pain, I feel like these terrible things that happened, or these things that needed to happen, or these things that I didn't want to happen. It's like all of the beautiful times as well, all of the times when I felt unified with this person. it's like all of these different experiences that you've had with this individual, and it's like when you get down to the bottom of it, you just see your connection with this person and you're like, what is the purpose of this? Like, if we're not together right now, or if things aren't working out, or if this isn't healthy for me, like, why does this connection exist between myself and this individual? And so there's a sense of like really looking into this and wondering what's going on between you and this person, like what this means for you. This feels like a very like philosophical, analytical look to try to understand what this connection is between you and this person. Understanding too, like what's meant to come of it as well. What is the purpose of this? What is the meaning that I'm giving to this situation? Sometimes too, I think we get like very caught up in like trying to like find the meaning of our connections and our relationships, and sometimes what we miss the point of is that like it can mean whatever you want it to mean as well. There doesn't need to be this like main point of what it means indefinitely. It can mean so many different things, and it can all be for a purpose as well, for purposes that sometimes even expand beyond our conscious awareness at a point in time. And I think that's also hard to fathom too, especially when you're the type of person that's analytical. It's like, I like to take things apart and I like to understand the pieces of it and I like to put it back together. You know, it's like an Aquarian mind is like it's like the engineer essentially. It's somebody that is going to like want to understand the most like expansive understanding of things, and I'm hearing be prolific in that way. And there's a sense of maybe feeling like this is enigmatic in a way, because instead of you seeing it so mechanically, there's a sense of you like spiritually and emotionally being so involved in something, and that definitely like piques your interest and your passion. um if we rewind back to kind of the beginning of what I was saying about like whether this is a twin flame or whatever it is that you want to label it as, the connection that you have with this person, what I'm seeing in this connection and what I have like an understanding of that has happened with like most of us is that you meet somebody and you like fall in line into the connection with this person, and things kind of go awry, but in the process of being with them, and there usually is like the runner chaser thing that goes on, that dynamic, the like dance that you do with this person, there's a sense of like spiritual growth that happens within the connection. So it's like both of you guys are kind of meant to, or maybe just you meant to be like triggered kind of into expanding your emotional experience. There's like an awareness that you gain because of the connection that you have with this person. So there absolutely is a point to this connection, even if it's not like what you wanted initially. I mean, and sometimes too you end up getting back with the person and like you have a relationship, but it's like it's different for every single person. There's no like you do this and that and then you guys live happily married forever and ever. It's going to be different for everybody in their individual experience, and what type of energy you come into it with, what type of energy that other person comes into it with, because you know you can't control, like you can also have gained such a profound experience from something and be very sure in what you want. And if someone else, like your partner or your counterpart, whatever you want to call this person outside of yourself that you're connecting with, if they are not ready to experience certain things, I really do believe that not only are you not going to be able to force some type of spiritual experience onto someone if they're not open to it, but I also think that it's as well, kind of an abuse of power too, because just as you want to have free will, we're not meant to be pushing an agenda onto other people, even if like we can hope that and want for like the best for everybody. But there's a very fine line between like our ego and wanting to like manipulate somebody into like having an awakening or like understanding the connection and all of that. And so it's also very important to be aware of like our shadow and our ego and how that's showing up into the space too. Because just as you want to be able to like see for yourself and make your own decisions, you're meant to also allow other people to be doing the same thing for themselves. This also, interesting, this road we're going down, this also has to do with like parents and our other connections that we have with people. Like you can consider yourself very woke, and I think that because of you like having the knowledge that you have, there's also a responsibility for you not to be pushing any sort of agenda on people. Because the thing is, the more in touch we get with unconditional love, the less conditions we are putting on people, and the more we are accepting them for who they are, not who we want them to be. So whoever they are and whatever they're doing, we have a love for them. Does it mean we have to be around them? No. Does it mean we can be around them? Yes. Like you get to decide for yourself what you want to be doing. But this is all about you allowing people to be who they are. If somebody comes to you and they're open to it and they're asking you questions and they want to learn about something, then by all means. However, if someone is not open to something as like as significant as you find it to be, if they don't want to know about it or they're not interested or it like they're shut down about it, you being aggressive in any type of way or manipulative or trying to push some sort of agenda on them, I again feel like it's an abuse of power because of the responsibility that you hold now, because you're awake and because you're conscious, and you're not meant to be pushing that on people that don't want to know about it. It causes tension, and it can cause paranoia in people to be pushing an agenda, and it's really important that we allow people to go at their own pace too. I will say this as well, I guess we're covering a lot of topics today. I will say this as well. Some people are not ready to experience a spiritual awakening quickly. Like we all go through our own pace of how we awaken and how we become more conscious. And so some people, if they are not in the right like development of place of like spirit and mind and body, if they are pushed too quickly, even by their own means, into a spiritual awakening, like this is also how people can like become very ungrounded and lose touch. And you can't tell when somebody is ready or not. They have to determine that for themselves. And so this is also something we need to be careful about, because some people are not ready, and it can be very damaging to them as well, because they cannot like be in a higher state and also remain grounded. And I mean, even as like a somebody that's connected with like spirituality and stuff, sometimes we all experience that, like those moments of feeling ungrounded where you feel very paranoid, you feel like you have to like watch your back, or you feel like things are like conspiring, and like in those moments you can catch yourself and take yourself out of it. But it's like when people are not ready and they go through some type of like elevating onto another plane or whatnot, they can kind of lose themselves within that. And if you don't have the right like tools or guide or like inner understanding, there's a sense of even getting lost in that space. Back to the reading now, friends. So yeah, I guess important information somebody needs to know. So much going on here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, you got, okay, we're going back, all the way to like you trying to analyze the connection that you have with this person. I'm seeing you being separated from this person. There's like some type of break that you have. You're making progress. You're understanding what you want. It's like what feels in alignment to you as far as a connection with someone. What do you not want in a connection? What type of behavior is something that doesn't feel okay to you? when it comes to like a partner or how you want to act within a relationship. I'm looking at the Knight of Wands here. With the Six of Cups, definitely. Definitely someone you have history with, a past relationship. Took a break from them, made progress, thinking about reciprocity. This person's behavior, not wanting to commit, needing to understand it differently than you had, feeling conflicted about somebody from the past. Maybe you're still working out the fact that they were not committed to the relationship, or that they were also entertaining other people, possibly, for some of you. It's like maybe this person also wanted to pursue a physical connection with you, but they wouldn't get vulnerable in the truest sense. As I say that, it's the Five of Swords popping out. The Five of Swords is an energy of... The Five of Swords is an energy of someone that is very much concerned with kind of stealing the show in their own way. It's like... The story of the Five of Swords is that this person sees like everybody playing and goes and steals all of the swords and is like, I win, I have all of the swords now, and then like everybody leaves crying. Like, this is the story of that card. So it's somebody that's like, I don't know, for this context in particular, somebody that wouldn't get vulnerable with you, somebody that you may have perceived as like being selfish, meaning like they weren't, when we say selfish, it's subjective. It's like you wanted somebody that's prioritizing the relationship and they weren't concerned with doing that, and so there's a sense of being like perceiving the person as selfish, maybe like placing their own needs above like the needs of the relationship or your needs, things like that. So it's like, I'm seeing you be like, I love you, but like you end up going through a break. So it's like whether this person like ghosted you and ran away, or you went through a mutual breakup, or you broke up with this person, there's like the separation, and you recognize that this person's energy was not one vulnerable and willing to be in a connection with you. Like you feel that sense of like heartbreak, and then you're like, you know what, this is something I need to check out, I have to heal this. So then there's like progress being made when it comes to like you doing things on your own, like being in a more independent energy, you working on clearing the heart space, acknowledging the things that you felt. This is too kind of that notion of like when you snap out of a connection or get further away, or kind of like more so waking up, there's a sense of being like, you know what, the way that like this person was behaving, I really do feel like hurt by the experience and all of that. So it's kind of like not just, what is the word I'm looking for? It's not just seeing like all of the good things about this person, like what you perceive to be good. This is about you seeing all of it, even the areas that may be like more covert, maybe something more subtle too that it took time to understand. But it seems like because you've had a break from this person, there's like a realization maybe of like even characteristics that they have, personality characteristics. I don't want to get too deep into that because you will know that for yourself. I like to toe the line when we're connecting with the different energies. For some of you, this person was like, it was a coworker, it was somebody that had to do with your finances in some sort of way. Like they had some type of effect. Like you could have, this feels so much like I guess this is like the extension of the last reading that we did. This person could have had to do with like It could have been a boss, a manager, a co-worker, somebody that you met at work, somebody that you lived with, somebody that has some sort of I'm hearing like overcrossing interconnectedness with your finances. For some of you, you could have even been married to this person or like lived with them in a way where it's like like some type of commitment. I'm seeing something definitely serious. And you were like working out with this person, trying to work out with this person, like things that have to do with finances but also energetics too. It's like I'm seeing you getting more bold when it comes to the ways that you're calling things out. It's like if I show up in this way, I'd expect you to show up in this way. It's like trying to talk about balance with this person, trying to like enter into a space like with generosity, maybe also understanding more about like reciprocity when it comes to like even money too. For some reason I'm just seeing like finances have something to do with this, and maybe there's an understanding of like working out, I don't know how much money we're giving to this person or receiving from this person. Like for some of you, there could have been something going on, like some type of even transactional type of relationship that was being worked on. Because I'm seeing you get more comfortable, like saying what it is that you need. It's like, what is going to bring you the type of happiness that you're looking for? What feels fulfilling to you? Like, what are your hopes and your dreams here? Like, do you want a family? Like things like that that are like all about you and this person and what you're building with them, the connection. But because of their behavior and their lack of willingness to like grow with you emotionally, like as you see it, there's a sense of being like your behavior is just too much. Because I'm seeing someone that like this person could have cheated on you. This person, you could have caught them being unfaithful. I'm getting something about like texting other people. So it's like whatever happened, and again, like I don't want to harp on that because we can tap into that for like how long we can go through everybody's situation here. But the thing is that when it all boils down to it, what happened was that this person was like not ready to be committed in the ways that like you may have defined your relationship as. So it's like feeling like some sort of covenant, so to speak, was broken and this person was just unwilling. It's like they were prioritizing their libido over like the commitment of the relationship and like being faithful to you. And so there's a sense of being like, and I'm seeing this be something like repetitive and something that like they may even like no matter how many times you talk to them about it, this is something that I don't think like would have died down. I don't know how else to say it. That's like what I'm getting. It's like this is something that like maybe they didn't really show much of an effort to like not continue this behavior. It's like they were just going to keep doing their thing and maybe weren't really worried with the consequences, or so that's how you perceive how they handled it as. And I'm seeing you be like, it's too much, I gotta go. This is someone too, like this is someone that may be very, very charming and also has a hard time not, because when we talk about the Knight of Wands, when we're like really getting into the psychology space of it, when this is someone that won't commit within a relationship but it's like they're trying to have a relationship with you, this is somebody that identifies so much with like physicality and the sacral chakra and their physical body that it's very hard for them to separate themselves from that because their ego is so tied into it. That is their identity. And so like this is a part of themselves that they identify so strongly with. I don't know why we're like getting into the mind space of the Knight of Wands, but I guess it's important for us to, I don't know, maybe to have like some sort of compassion even and understanding just of the place that this person is in too. Sometimes also when people over identify so much with their bodies as well, there is there's a sense of them not even being able to understand that, like, them being physical with other people or flirting with, like, whoever they want, like, they can't conceptualize that not being part of their lives because they identify so much with that that's just who they are. And, like, in a real sense, like, this is somebody that really feels that way. Or that it's, like, so convenient for them to be charming because it, like, allows them the type of lifestyle that they want. It gets them, like, somebody that gets, like, promotions or, like, benefits because of behaving in this way. Because that's, like, their mode of operation, too. And so, like, you're not just asking them to commit to... I'm not making excuses, by the way. You're not just asking them to commit to a relationship. You're asking them to change, essentially, their whole lifestyle. Maybe a specific message for someone, but yeah, just getting deeper into that. Again, like, I'm not making excuses, I'm just giving you some insight so we can have a better understanding of this energy. So you move away and you recognize that you need to ground, and we're thinking more about what it means to be centered, what it means to be in a place of equanimity, what it means to extricate yourself from the ego space and the desire space and to get centered. So it's like now we turn into kind of like Zen Buddha, and there's a sense of like really going through something spiritual now. It's like after you finally walk away from this person, there's a sense of wanting to assume the energy that the King of Cups holds and going through some type of enlightenment with the Hanged Man. This is something that kind of unravels over time, something that there's a bit of a process to, a lot to understand, a lot to grasp. Getting more spiritual too with the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is a very spiritual energy with Neptune. And as you're moving through this enlightenment and this synthesizing that is happening with your emotional grounding spiritual practices, there's a sense of clarity and understanding that you gain that you didn't have before, especially in relation to this connection and maybe why you needed to move on as well. The more that you become the enlightened Hanged Man, like the more you complete the journey of the Hanged Man in particular, which is all about coming to understand things very differently than they had been before. It's coming to understand also like the superficiality and the symbolism and how we attach meaning to symbolism too. It's like very, very in-depth. If you feel guided, absolutely look into the Hanged Man's journey. But it is about like reaching this spiritual enlightenment through being able to like see out of the box and like completely shift everything. It's like everything turns on its head, and gaining the clarity through that experience about a connection that you have with someone. And why things hadn't been smooth within the connection. And it feels too like that sense of like conflict, internal conflict that you experience in relation to this person when it comes to like who they are and what happened in your experience and what you want and how things are different than that. There's like an understanding that you gain about why those experiences were happening in the first place by you reflecting and looking within, thinking about the past here and understanding the purpose of the connection that you've had with this person. And this is like your true justice for the situation. Like this is you bringing justice to the situation is not about like you sticking it to anyone. It's about you understanding. Like that is the justice for this situation. This is not about revenge. It's not about like you hope this person gets like the karma, whatever. This is about you being so unconcerned with everybody else that all you care about is your journey and what's going on there, that everything else you allow to fade away, and you coming to a place of understanding the purpose of all of it. Like that is justice. That is the full circle moment. That is like both the clarity of like knowledge and perception, and also that balance and alignment of like emotion and spirituality, and you providing that for yourself because of you looking within and wanting to understand all of this and wanting to understand the full picture as well, and getting a better understanding too of the ways that things work too, feeling more like you are like experiencing the universe and like working with the universe, rather than like all of these things are happening to me and like I didn't sign up for this, you know. It's about like really really shifting our understanding of what's going on and what we're experiencing and how we're meant to experience everything that we're experiencing. And if something is still not making sense, or you still think something wasn't meant to happen, there's still more to understand about it too. And that's the thing as well. And it's the most amazing transformations, like the largest transformations come from those experiences that you're like, how could this ever happen? There's no way this was meant to happen. This is the worst thing. Like I would never wish this on anybody. Like I would have never hoped to experience this in my life. Like how can anyone say that this is right? It's like when you have those moments and you work with yourself through that and you come out into a place where you're like, now I understand. Like that is the biggest transformation that we go through when we do our personal work. And those lead to the biggest changes when it comes to us and our perception of what's going on around us and also ourselves. For the zodiac signs, I'm looking at Libra, I'm looking at Neptune, I'm looking at Virgo and Gemini. And that's everybody. Remember, we all have every single zodiac, every single house within our birth chart. So as much as you can perceive this as being someone outside of yourself, this can be that area of your own chart, because you all have all the energies in there. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.